Yep.
Terrance!
Yep.
Terrance, what time is it?
Yep, they know what's up. Yep. Derp, derp, derp.
Where y'all at? It's Gotham discussion time with Terrance! Jelly, peanut butter jelly! Oh wait, I always get ahead of myself on that. One. Terrance! Oh, you're still getting down! Terrance, you're still getting down! Alright, let me see. Oh yeah, we're working. I see us live. Let me make sure. I always go and double check because it'll mess and I know people haven't been getting alerts.
Yeah, that's the two for you.
People haven't been getting alerts and they'll get mad. They're like, you were live? So they told me I should start using my community page to start letting people know when I'm going live.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the community post where you could type it and then they can read it?
I'm going live tonight, but I forgot to do that. Sorry.
You know what's the problem? You know what's the problem with that, though, Amanda? Because when someone subscribes, they would have to have that checked off to receive the posts and not just the videos.
Not just everybody. Yeah, not everybody has that. Like, they don't look at that. Well, some people say they do. They're like, you should write it on your community. They told me, they're like, you should write on your community page that you're going live. Like, when? Because I'll go at different times. I'm late or something like that. Or I'll skip a week because I got kids. This is why we're here tonight. Because Friday, I could not make it. It was, first of all, I was not feeling good. And second, look, my husband works at this time. So when the kids have something to do, I have to bring them to the dentist. I have to do this. I have to bring them here. And I was shuffling kids around so much Friday. I was like, I can't make time for Terrance.
And that was between your son and daughter, right?
Yeah, both of them. I was like a chauffeur back and forth Friday night, not feeling good on top of it. But I could not let a week go by. I could not let this week go by and not talk about some Gotham this past episode with Terrance, because I'm just saying the end of the episode, I was just, my mouth dropped and I was like, oh, I was like that. I was like,
all right, let's start from the beginning. Yeah, what do you think about when you see Hugo Strange and they're getting Eduardo together? How'd you feel?
I think I called this though, Terrance. Did I not say when that Eduardo? I said that's gonna be Bane. Remember?
Right, and then I was like,
you were like, you think?
Man,
you were like,
it don't seem right to me. Like,
it didn't. But what do you think now?
Well, let me think, because the initial setup for him, I didn't like it, like the initial setup. But then when I watched this episode, then I was like, all right, yeah, this is
you were getting
okay.
To it. You were getting to it.
Yeah, you know how much I like Bane. So for me, and he's a villain, and you know that I cannot stand when they mess up the villains. I can't stand it with a passion. I will.
That's true.
So,
and he was like, they were like, go get Barbara, because one thing is, like, the episode started out like she was gonna go. She did.
Right.
She did Penguin, and then she was right there. She's like, oh, and then she's like, oh, and they're like, oh no, we wait for you. We wait. She knew. She was like,
See, that's like, okay. See, this is how I know that this is a prequel show, because, like, later on, like, a Penguin and a Riddler, they would never agree to take Barbara. Number one, they both would have shot her in the face. Like, that would have been a thing.
She would have been dead a long time ago.
She would have had to have been, like, Two-Face or somebody like that for them to even think about it, Amanda. Mm-hmm. So that's how I knew, like, okay, they still making steps, because I'm like, why would you take her and then a baby? Yeah. Like, that's going to be a distraction, and then you don't know if she's going to be like, well, I have to protect my kid, and then maybe she kills them or something, and it's too much of a risk.
Well, and I think at this time, like, the world's like, I mean, Gotham City is crumbling before them, Gotham.
Right.
So, like, they're like, I feel like they're kind of like, all right, we this time of need, how everybody comes together in time of needs, right? They're like, we got to stick together with our villain, our fellow villain. And we got to stick together with, other bad guy. You know what I mean? So like
it's interesting that you say that, because with Barbara, I look at her as more of a victim of circumstances versus, her actually being a villain.
True.
It's like she's someone that more or less adapted to her environment, but, I wouldn't place her on the level of the rest of them.
I mean, because why is she at this point? It's like severe PTSD. Because she wouldn't even have that. But remember that she got kidnapped by that serial killer guy. And it all started from there. So she isn't like the classic, but it was crazy, like, just to, like, see her pregnant, too. Wasn't it? Like, she's having a baby.
Okay.
Like, it didn't feel right. I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Okay, because, I'm not sure how you, watch Gotham when it comes on, because with me, it's like, I record it with the DVR, right, with the box. So I'm there to fast forward the commercials and stuff like that. And I had to pause it the first time when I saw that she was pregnant, because I'm like, this is bothering me, because my boy Jim is dumb enough to mess around with females like Barbara and Lee. I'm like, you shouldn't be with either one of them. Both of them are Cocoa Puffs.
I like Lee.
I mean, I don't like hate Lee per se, but it's just, I'm like,
do you think
why Lee or Barbara? Why? Jim?
Yeah, that was always like the fact, like, I can see in the beginning, remember when she was like semi-normal and she's pretty and all that, but then she got crazy, and then she got that haircut.
If we're talking about just appearance, then, like, for me, since I'm such a gentleman, I would like to have Lee and Barbara at the same time. Like, that has to be.
Look, Evans, wait! Evans donated money! Is that what that means?
Oh, what does it say? Is it like $? Sign with
super chat from Evans? Yeah. Oh, look at Evans!
Yep.
Hey guys, I missed you too, especially Terrance. No homo though. He's saying he missed you, not like that. You gotta make it clear. That's why he gave.
Oh no, I know what you mean. We don't roll like that around here. I get you. I mean, nothing wrong with those humans that are into, if they're males and they're into the the penis and stuff. But we don't roll like that around here. I get you.
So yeah, Terrance. It was weird seeing her pregnant, though. It was for me. And it's also, but that's why I said, you gotta love Lee, a little piece of you. You can't hate on Lee, because she gonna be there. Barbara's gonna show up, about to have her husband's baby that she don't like in the first place, and then she's still gonna help her. That's why I said Lee has a little, after Lee and having the emotional stuff she went through, having lost her own baby. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, you gotta give a little respect for Lee, Terrance.
Okay. See, my thing is that situation where, Lee and, not Lee, but Barbara and Jim, when they, connected with each other, when they had the sex going on, I'm like, I could tell that situation was emotional based. And I know too many humans that have been in a situation, not so much where their city is being destroyed, but other emotional situations where they would drink and then end up having sex when they wouldn't normally do it with that kind of person. Mm-hmm. And I think about myself and I'm like, first of all, if I don't like you, the planet could be blowing up and it ain't gonna happen, Amanda. It would never happen. They would have to drug me and do all kinds of things to my mind. They have to put the chip in there for that to happen, Amanda. There's no way.
Some people like crazy. If they're attracted,
I can, a little bit of crazy is fine, but see, I would still have to like the person. See, if it's just that they're crazy,
would you do that with what about Harley Quinn? Would you do Harley Quinn?
Oh, absolutely.
So it has not to do with crazy. It has to do with with their past was too much of like. You're saying it was just too much here that just you detest the person at this point. But
exactly.
But that's the thing. But Gordon never really detest. He didn't hate Barbara. No, I think.
He did. I was just merely what I would do, like, if I were in his shoes, because, like, if I dislike you, something like that, wouldn't happen. But I get why Jim did it, and I was like, Jim, really? You supposed to be focused on saving Gotham, and you gonna go and dip it with Barbara?
Look, they think it's the end of the world. They have. Oh wait, so he said, wait. So this is the real Bane, or is it an emulator? That's what Evans is asking. Is it the real Bane, or is it? I thought it was the real Bane.
I mean, it seemed real to me. I mean, like,
I think that was the real Bane.
Like the last episode, the real one comes and beats him up. Like, but no, like when Hugo Strange was doing his programming, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I could see like how that happens. And subsequently, when we see, Bruce Wayne and he's, tied up, and the chick walks in, and I'm like, oh. I like that it turned out to be Nyssa Al Ghul, because I'm like,
why?
Because, like,
she was
to me,
a forgettable character for me, though. I was just like, who is this again? Who is she? Like, she was kind of like a forgettable. I was like, who?
No, not to me. No, really? No, not like. When it comes to Ra's al Ghul and his League of Shadows or League of Assassins, whatever way you say it, like, the League is just countless individuals that include Bane, that include both of his daughters, Talia and Anissa Al Ghul. So before she said her name, I'm like, that has to be either Talia or Anissa, or Anissa. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it's Anissa is why I said it brings a full circle, because in The Dark Knight Rises, the third movie in Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, remember Bane was in there?
Yeah.
In that movie, he was working for Talia, Ra's al Ghul's other daughter.
Gotcha.
See? So I was like, oh, okay. That's cool that they kept that. But just slightly different. So I was like, yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna change it up. We're gonna put it in the other way. We're gonna do the other the sister.
Right. Exactly. And then also how Bane is depicted is also different as well. So they depicted him differently, and then him working for a different daughter of Ra's al Ghul. So I'm like, that's really cool. I was very pleased. I was like, hey, Nyssa, do your thing.
And I like too. Or what about when so when then they kidnapped Gordon and Bruce, right?
Yeah, right.
I like when it clicked who she was, even in Bruce's mind. Remember? Because they were beating Gordon, and they're like, and they was beating him.
I love that.
And then that moment, it clicked for him. Like, he was like, oh. It like, and she knew it clicked too. She was like,
Hey, like, you and everyone, you see how my head is in position? When someone punches you and your head just, and then he just tossed him out the chair like a rag doll. Like, I don't care who you are. At that point, you have to be thinking about how you should kill yourself, because you're not going to win that.
I was like cringing. I was just like, oh, stop. Oh, stop. Oh.
I was clapping. I'm like, get him, Bane. Beat him up.
Oh, because you love Bane that much. You was loving just seeing Bane in action.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. When I was in the theater for The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane picked up Batman and he did the Batbreaker, which is on one of the comic book covers, I jumped out of my seat cheering, and then even my friends were surprised and then everybody else in the theater, like, I couldn't see the rest of them, but they looked back to see what people were doing when I did that, and then afterwards they were like, Terrance, everybody in the theater was looking at you, because, like, I stood up, because I was so excited that they did that. Like, it's about to do the backbreaker! And it was just so something like that. Seeing Gordon it was cool. It was cool to me.
And then she wasn't playing, because after all that, and then she was like, "Yeah, don't worry, you're not the only one who was behind my dad's death, right?" She was like, "You ain't the only one, Barbara too." And then when Gordon was like, "What? Wait, Barbara has been pregnant." They were like,
"So?"
I know, they were like, "And?"
First of all, like, the way when Bane turned around, I was like, so? What does that mean? Like, I'm not a villain, but even me, like, there are things that just, I don't agree with. Like, I don't agree that a man should ever beg for mercy. That should never happen. like, you should just be tough and just stand your ground. You can say stuff like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, but you shouldn't be like, wait, she's pregnant, or please don't. Like, you shouldn't allow yourself to be that weak, because that person that's standing across from you, they don't care nothing about that. Not if they're like a really hardcore villain.
Yeah.
Like, if you can appeal to something in them, then maybe there's something else. Like, if Bane would have been like, oh, a child, I guess I'll leave her alone. I'd be like, nah, that ain't Bane. You wouldn't care about that.
No, I agree.
I'm supposed to stop all my plans because Barbara is pregnant. Man, if anything, I'm going to kill them both. I'm like, kill them both, Bane.
Why, I was like the same way. I'm like, I was like, Gordon, you've been dealing with this for how many years, and you think that matters now? Go tell Joker she is. Go tell, like you said, like, there's certain characters you'd be like, go tell. Well, that's the thing too. They're new to Bane. They're like, what is this? What happened to you? I thought you was dead, Eduardo.
Yeah, but I just like how Eduardo was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go snap her up. You don't understand. There's only Bane. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, if someone tells you that they have a new name and you call them by the older one, like, the best example that I can think of off the top of my head is one of the greatest boxers ever, Muhammad Ali, which I'm sure you know who he is. Like,
and when they call him like Cassius, name, what's his Cassius?
Yeah,
Cassius
Clay. When he changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, anytime a boxer would call him Cassius, he would beat the crap out of him even more. Like, what's my name?
Really?
You better say my name. Yes, that was that's like, he has many memorable lines and stuff because he was very, very confident, and some might find him as arrogant because he would talk trash to his opponents, and then people didn't like that. They're like, who? Especially back then, because there was a lot of racism towards my people. So they were just like, who is this arrogant black dude talking all this trash? Ooh, I hate him. I can't stand him. I want him to lose. And, they didn't like him that he was talking trash and he was so handsome and articulate. But anyway, like, when Bane looked at a gem like that, I could tell, like, okay, yeah, that's disrespectful. I told you I'm Bane now, and you keep calling me Eduardo like we supposed to be friends. Punch him in the face,
So Evan said, oh wait, I hit the wrong little thing. He said, he's asking, cause Jeremiah and Jerome, two Jokers. Also, if I remember correctly, the Court of Owls and Azrael appeared in the past seasons. I'm watching a lot of the TV series. He said,
yeah. They did a great job with the Court of Owls. Like,
he said he liked Tom Hardy's Bane, but the only complaint is he wasn't as big as the comics, and there was no connection to the Venom. On the other hand, Nolan went for a realistic approach.
Here's my thing. When Christopher Nolan said in the beginning that he was going to make those characters realistic, the Bane from the comic books, number one, is like 600 pounds of muscle. Right now, I'm approximately 212 pounds of muscle standing at 6 feet tall. From a fighting standpoint, you cannot be that big and do punches and kicks properly. Like, if you remember Batman and Robin, that horrible movie, Amanda, remember how big Bane was in there?
Yeah.
And he couldn't even throw a punch. Remember that, Amanda? How do you fight?
I try to forget that movie, but I remember.
Like, it's okay to be really big, but in a situation where you have to fight, you have to be able to move. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, for a good example would be... And
you can't make a live action. Like, yeah, you can do a comic like that or something like that, but you can't make a live action and be...
Right. And it has to work.
Yeah.
It's like if you look at, like, UFC fighters or professional wrestlers, they're different muscle masses, but they can all move and flip and kick and jump because you have to as those characters. You can't just be flat-footed. I'm like, what fighter does that? Mm-hmm. But in the context of the movie, Tom Hardy was still bigger than Christian Bale. The whole point is that Bane has to be bigger than Batman. And because that was the case, like, to me, it didn't matter that he wasn't as big. The point is that he should be bigger, and he was. So that's why that worked to me. And he was able to move and jump like how he's supposed to.
Perry said, if anyone wants to know more about Gotham TV series, his brother Terrance knows it all. Wonderful, fantastic knowledge, he says. And Evan said, but he's a luchador. not a MMA fighter.
No. Here's the thing though. Like Bane, he does have wrestling skills, but when he got trained by the League of Shadows, he absolutely was a martial artist, which would be an MMA fighter, like him being well versed in different forms of fighting. So Bane is technically a martial artist with wrestling abilities and assassin abilities too. Like he's not just a regular Joe. Also, he's extremely intelligent. Like if you put Bane in a room of 12,000 people, he would be the smartest one in the room, unless you had like the Riddler or somebody else in there. Like, so Bane is just an all around scary pack.
Terrance, really?
Yes, really. Like Bane is considered very intelligent in the comics. Like he's someone that led.
Because I don't know much about, like, I just know him from movies. And I feel like he's always been depicted in movies as, I mean, not like highly intelligent, I wouldn't say, you know.
I mean, excluding the Batman and Robin one, even in The Dark Knight Rises, even though he was working for Talia, he was still very intelligent to carry out all those plans. You know, it's not like in that movie, all he did was punch people. Like, Talia trusted him because he was smart enough to carry out the plans. You can't have an idiot do all that stuff. He was blowing up football stadiums. He got a plan to break out all the prisoners and trap all the cops underground. Remember that, Amanda?
I remember. Like, I don't like that movie either. I know you're going to get on me. I don't like that one.
No, it's fine. I mean, like, you know, you like what you like.
But it's probably, but for me, because I'm going to say it, like, I've never, like, I was excited to see Bane and stuff, but it's not one of the characters I was like, oh my God, I can't wait, you know, or so into, like you are for this. Like, I was excited to see how they bring Bane, but yeah.
But I mean, for what that was, though, it was great for what it was. Like, it was supposed to be the way it was. Like, unless you, like, if he would have went the more, comic booky route, then it just would have been more extreme. But in that context, it worked for what it was. So you really did have a beautiful Batman trilogy where he incorporated a lot of villains, and he did them all in the vein of how they're supposed to be, except that how they would be if they were real people, which is really hard to do because those characters are extreme.
Evan said, for example, he liked the way they handle Bane in Arkham Origins. That's probably, he thinks it's the most accurate Bane. Powerful, intelligent, charismatic.
Talk about the video game. Yeah, that one was cool too. Like in terms of,
isn't that like kind of animated? Like I don't play the video games. My husband plays.
Yeah, it has a like an animated look to it. It looks more like like picture video games, like how they look. It looks like that, but that was a good interpretation. As far as the best one that I've seen, like it would have to be in some kind of animated movie.
Yeah.
Like any DC animated movies. But in terms of live action, even this one in Gotham was pretty damn good.
You like this one better than Dark Knight?
No, but it's still pretty good.
Okay.
It's still pretty good. Like I haven't, like, let's see, cause we had Batman and Robin one, unfortunately.
I know. I was like, why is he even bringing that up? That's something not even supposed. That's one of those movies you ain't supposed to talk about.
I would normally bring it up, but I had to make a point about the whole size thing, like how that's not always.
I got it. Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, though, the other live action interpretations of Bane have been spot on for different reasons, right? But if you don't like care for the character, it technically wouldn't really matter how good they do him if you don't like him to begin with, right? It's like with Aquaman, right? If you think he's just some dumb fish guy, your mind is already closed off, and you're probably not going to enjoy the movie anyway because you have that, right? But I'm just saying, like, but Batman has a lot of villains to where even if you don't like one, you're going to like somebody, right?
That's probably why it's probably one of my favorite DC characters because of that, because of all the villains and how I like. Evan said size does matter. He said size does matter, Terrance.
Well, in terms,
he said, you know what he's talking about. You know what he's talking about, Terrance.
Yeah, I know, like in terms, okay, I'll say it to you like this, since you want to be blunt, like, I'll try to restrain myself, but, you know,
look, PG show, PG!
Okay, in terms of a penis size, right? You know, it's better if it's longer and thicker and all that kind of stuff, sure. But at the same time, it does depend on the guy's skill level, but
you have to know how to work it.
Women,
so it don't matter if it's big. With Bane too, he still needs to be able to work, do his moves, and his, right? We get it.
Right. In the case of fighting, though, size alone is not good enough. But if you know how to fight and you have size, that makes it worse. That's an advantage. Because now you're talking about any punch or kick or elbow or knee that can be thrown has extra power behind it. Size means strength. You don't know how much, but it's there. Like, there's a reason why when you see a regular Joe and you see somebody that's buff, you're not going to be like, I wonder whose wallet I'm going to steal. Let's pick the buff dude. Like, why? So
I've never thought that ever. I've never thought that, Terrance. Never.
No, I know you haven't, man. I'm just saying in general, because, you know, we have a conversation, but yeah, like.
All right. Let's get on more, well, not much else happened after that, except the big thing, right? Because after Bane went to go get Barbara and Lee.
Oh man. When he snapped that person's neck.
Oh, no. Oh, well, first it was funny because first Penguin and Enigma show up and they're like, where's my part?
Right.
You did make us laugh, Evans.
But I'll tell you this, Amanda, though. Because the way Bane looked was on point. Like, now imagine.
Bye, Perry.
Was like some scrawny dude. I'd have been like. Even Bane, when he's not on Venom, which is the thing that makes him very big, it's like 100 times more effective than steroids in real life. Yeah. Right? Because he gets big in an instant. Even steroids in real life, it takes a little bit of time, like maybe a couple weeks, but that's instantaneous.
Yeah.
So, even regular Bane, when he's not on Venom, he's like my size. He's like 210 of muscle. But then when he, you know, has the Venom, then it's like 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds of extra muscle with green veins and everything. So no matter what someone says, like in the case of Bane, you have to cast somebody that looks physically imposing. Like he has to look like he can pick up Batman and snap his spine. Like, you need him to be scary, man. You can't be looking at him like, oh, he's so handsome. No. I'm like, why is Bane handsome?
I was like, cause like, even when Penguin's in there, Enigma, you're just like, oh, they showed up, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, Bane's there, you know, like he is. I was like, and they're like, we'll stop him. I'm like, you think you're gonna? Remember, they're like, we'll hold him off. I was like, y'all better run too.
you had the perfect reaction, like, excuse me? You're gonna stop what? Yeah. Like, unless you have, like, and then remember when they hobbling around? Remember?
When what?
Remember the bullet? When you shoot somebody, Amanda, and the bullets are bouncing off, and remember when they did the explosion, when they came up with that plan, and the people behind Bane, they flew, and Bane was still in the same spot? Amanda, Hop. You... No, Amanda.
I know.
Amanda, you have to kill yourself. There's nothing you can do, Amanda.
He said, what did Evans say in Evans? Are you talking? He said, the first 5 episodes gave me No Man's Land vibe. Yeah, I don't know it. Am I the only one? In case you don't know, Amanda, it's a Batman comic. Oh yeah, I was like, what is he talking about? So the first 5 episodes of this season gave him the No Man's vibe. Oh wait.
Yeah, he's right about
that. No Man's Land vibe.
Like just a place of misfortune, and like Gotham almost essentially being at its lowest point, basically. So.
Yeah. I mean,
but it does get worse in the comics, though. It does get a lot worse.
Really? Then even at the end of this, because
to be fair, I haven't seen the last episode, but when
this
happened after,
we have 2 more episodes,
like 10 plus years.
Yeah, we have 2 more episodes, right? 2 more after this.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this episode ended kind of bad because, right, first, you know, you're like, oh, there goes Gordon and Bruce escaping with the general guy. You're like, la la la. And then he gets on that phone and he orders the strikes, and it ends where they're blowing up the city.
Yeah, when the helicopters came in and they were blowing up the buildings, see, it kind of made me think of certain other fictional cities to where destructive things happen, but for some reason humans are dumb enough to still live there. Like, okay, look,
New Orleans,
when you look out your window, how many you could get killed. Like you said earlier, Amanda, that you took your son to the dentist, right?
Yeah.
In Gotham City, that dentist could be a serial killer, Amanda. There could be like 10 bodies in the other office. You probably be like, "Where's your assistant?" Oh, she's on her lunch break. No, she's not on her lunch break. She is dead, Amanda.
You don't trust nobody up in Gotham. It's true. You don't trust nobody.
And that's just a regular individual. That's not the super villains like Joker and like 80 other villains. That's just the side people that you can't even trust. You can't even go get a donut, Amanda, without worrying about the donut having poison in it or maybe it'll blow up or something. You have no idea. And somebody wants to ask me the question of, why does Gotham City need Batman? Really? That was a legitimate...
Well, so this is what you're saying. They shouldn't even rebuild Gotham. They ended up blowing it. You're like, you should just end it there. Because Gotham's crazy.
Logically, yes, but we know, it doesn't happen like that. But it's kind of like with Metropolis, with Superman, right? Those construction workers have to be making Bill Gates money. As much as they have to build that city, Amanda... Do you know, like you saw like with Man of Steel, right? Like when him and Zod were fighting and they destroyed the entire city. Not a block.
Or what about the Batman versus, what is it? City. It was Batman versus Superman like that. And they had the big...
and that wasn't quite the whole city, but it was half of it.
Yeah.
It was half of it. Like that's what happens when Superman's around. It'd be like, dun, 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 and he got the hands on the hips. I'm like, Superman, millions of humans just died. And granted, he doesn't do that on purpose, but it's just the people he fights is so strong, he can't really lead them away from the city. Like they're already punching them through like 80 buildings. I'm like, Superman, them families are dead now. The little kids, they won't get to see mommy and daddy. They was waiting for them to come home. Mommy and daddy is crushed under 3 buildings now.
That's why they have isn't that why everybody was turning on superhero? They always have those issues where superheroes become like the villains because like, what actually have you done good? Destroy the city. You can see why people hate them. But Evan said in Gotham, you have some serious ass maniacs. Victor Zsasz, Professor Pig, Hush, and many more. Joker, like I don't care what y'all say. I think the craziest out of any super or villain that I ever, like mentally crazy, has to be Joker to me.
Well, I mean, to me, from a crazy standpoint, I would say Joker. But, when it comes to like every villain ever in comic book history, I still would say the Joker. Like, to me, like DC, from what I've read, like they have the best villains. Like, I just... like,
Joker's so crazy. He turns other people crazy.
Exactly.
That's how crazy Joker is. He makes normal people go crazy.
Right. But see, that's why that story, like the Killing Joke, among others, when he was trying to teach Batman that lesson, like you think all these people are so innocent. Even in The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, that whole movie is about nothing but powerful messages that speak to reality. Even today, especially in 2019. If The Dark Knight would have came out today, it would be just as effective because the messages are still true. You got these little humans with all their emotions and they always try to demonize somebody else. I'm like, put them in the same circumstances and watch if they don't, you think they're going to do something different? They're not. And everybody wants to be your friend and praise you. But as soon as you do one little thing, they want to burn you at the stake, Amanda. Like you Thanos or somebody.
Joker, he said, Doom's also crazy in its way.
Yeah.
All right.
But see, but yeah, so what did you think about this moment, even though I was cheering Amanda.
Okay.
I gotta be honest. I'm gonna be honest. And this is rare for me.
Okay. What is it? I'm curious. What?
When Jim Gordon, not Jim Gordon, but when Alfred, when he got ready to fight Bane, I was very scared for him. It was somehow I was cheering, but I'm like, because Alfred, he is such a beast. Like when it like for someone that doesn't necessarily have like powers and stuff, he is such a man to the fullest extent. And I knew he was gonna fight Bane, and I was like, Alfred, you cannot win.
Don't do it. I felt the same way. I felt the same way. I was like, what is he doing? Does he not know what Bane is?
I was like, I respected him, but I'm like, he had no idea, but I'm like, Alfred. And we know that Alfred has fighting training. Yeah. He does, Alfred. But I'm like, but Bane, he has fighting training and he has like so much strength. And remember when he picked him up and he tossed him against the pillar, Amanda? Amanda, do you know? I was like, it's Alfred. I'm like, I know Alfred's not dead, but is he dead? I was like, is Alfred dead? No. But this is how I was, though. This was my reaction, Amanda. I was sitting up like this, right? Just, the feet kicked up. And I was like, oh, man. I'm like, Alfred, what are you doing, right? So when he picked him up and he tossed him against that pillar, man, I was like, it was like my back. Like, I was like, oh.
Well, I don't know this. Evan said Alfred kicked Superman's butt once. Well, he said that.
Yes, but
where was that? It must have been
Amanda.
What?
Amanda, in terms, before we get back on track, like I have to respond to that real quick. Someone being able to do something to Superman is not that impressive when it's done under specific circumstances. Because Superman is so powerful to where he can destroy an entire galaxy by sneezing, Amanda. A sneeze. So, in order for Superman to lose, there has to be, like, him not wanting to hurt the person, the person having kryptonite, and he didn't incinerate him with his heat vision. Yeah. Like, he's the closest thing to a god without being a god. So every time he loses, I'm like, okay, well, what didn't Superman do in that situation as to why the person won?
And it's always he gets outsmarted. That's usually what it is. Right. They outsmart him.
You know why he's too kind? Because he was raised by humans. He was raised.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with being too kind.
Like I know you're kind and stuff, and you're cool, but I'm just, you know what I mean. When they all the lessons that Jonathan and Martha taught Kal-El, while they're very true and powerful, it's just if you sway too much in that direction, you will end up getting hurt and the people that you care about, because you have to learn that some individuals have to be destroyed. You can't save everybody, no matter how much you want to. Some people are just bad, and there are reasons for that. I know most people don't like to do any research or understanding because they're just like, oh, they're bad. They just dismiss them.
You're saying he needs
a reason for it.
A little bit of that Deadpool in
have time to fix them.
You're saying like Superman needs to have a little Deadpool or something in him. Be like, no, you just need to kill him off.
No. Deadpool's insane. No, he shouldn't have any Deadpool. He needs to have I would say like Rorschach from Watchmen.
Okay.
Rorschach, when you're bad, you're dead.
A little Punisher? What about a little Punisher?
Well, it's like, here's the thing. Like, Punisher is also insane. Like Deadpool. But, like, Deadpool is sillier than the Punisher, but they're both classified as being insane. So, someone like Superman with that much power, it's not good for him to be insane. That's very bad.
So, Terrance, were you telling me the next episode is not this week of Gotham?
No, we got a couple weeks. It's like April.
Why are they doing this? I don't like it. Why did they make me wait like this?
Amanda, I had the same reaction. Like when you sent me that message when you're like, Terrance, we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. My heart stopped. I felt like just someone when they don't show up. I was there with my mouth. I was like,
but you gotta get used to that for me, because I told you I live by I can't plan. People's like, what are you doing this date? I'm like, you think I can't plan things ahead? My life is so crazy. Like, to make it as good. Have I been sticking to track every Friday since then is like great for me, because usually, as I said, I'm the only one here.
How would you feel if you turned on the news and then you just saw my face And then it just was like Terrance has passed away because he couldn't do the stream with Amanda. Like, how
are you gonna make it like this? What if I canceled my kids' things and you saw the sad look on their faces that because I had the live stream that they could not be brought here and there, like for different things. My one daughter had like a birthday party thing I had to bring her to, and she don't go to very many birthday parties, so she was all excited.
You're right. That is messed up. But honestly, the way I would feel is she picked me, dude.
No, that ain't right, Terrance. And you would see, because my daughter, you see in my little girl, she looks just like, and then she's such a sweetheart, and she'd just be, you would feel.
No, I believe you.
Joshua's here. Joshua Stark. Joshua. I promised Joshua I'll watch this Dragon Ball Z Broly show, right?
Oh,
movie.
So good. Oh, I love it.
This is the thing. All right, you love it. He loves it. I can't get into it. And I'm like, I'm so lost because I don't know any of this Dragon Ball Z background stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. Who's this Vegeta or Vagina? Like, I don't know none of this.
No. I need to go outside.
I don't know none of this Dragon Ball Z stuff. I'm sure it's
my favorite character's name. His name is Vegeta.
Oh, Vegeta. I thought it was Vegeta. I don't know. This is the thing, Terrance. I don't know these people. I don't know any of this backstory. So I'm watching this show, this Broly movie, totally lost. I'm like, Josh was like, where are you at? I'm like, I don't know. Vegeta's was on, like, they were talking about Vegeta. I don't know. I don't even know who Vegeta is. So he wants me watching
Vegeta is my favorite character, Amanda. Listen, like, that's my boy.
It. But think of this. Think of my situation. Watching that Broly movie, knowing nothing about nothing. How confused would you be?
You know I'm messing with you. I'm just
I know. But how confused would you be? And it wouldn't be enjoyable for you, would it? Because you wouldn't know what's going on, and it makes me frustrated. Like, what is going on?
Yes, because you're right, but I don't think you know how right you are. Let me tell you how right you are.
Okay.
This starts with Dragon Ball, when this character named Goku was a kid, which is a pretty long show. Then you have multiple Dragon Ball movies, and then we go over to Dragon Ball Z, which is really, really long. And then we have like 13 plus Dragon Ball Z movies. And then you have Dragon Ball GT.
It keeps going?
I ain't even done. Hold up. You got Dragon Ball GT, which is not canon to the other stuff. It's just like a one-off kind of show. And then you got Dragon Ball Super, which is really long, plus 2 Dragon Ball Super movies, plus this new Broly movie.
Joshua, why do you even want me to watch this and and want my opinion and think I'm going to enjoy it and have a good review when I don't understand it?
Like, well, I mean, if you were to watch the whole thing, like you can more or less critique the movie, but to me, if you don't have knowledge of all that stuff I just meant, there is no way you can accurately say anything. Because there's no way.
I'm glad
so,
you understand.
Amanda, I'm just messing with you. You know, we cool, but Vegeta is my favorite character. That's why I was like, oh no.
I kept calling her Vagina all night long. I was like, I only got like 30 minutes in it. And I was like, what they talking about, vaginas? I don't know.
My boy.
So, Joshua, he probably left. Gonna come in here talking about finish Broly. And then I'll go tell him, watch the end of our stream. Watch me and Terrance talk about it. Why I shouldn't finish this because why do you want me to finish it? You want my view on something I can't even give an opinion on because I don't even know this stuff?
I'll tell you this though. When it comes to animes from Japan, there is nothing more well known than Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I know. Like, it's not like I haven't heard Dragon Ball Z before, but because my brother-in-law used to watch it. Like the show. Used to watch the show. So I only know that the name Dragon Ball Z. That's it. I know nothing of even what they're about. Nothing. I never.
There's a lot of the show is about martial artists and fighting and saving the universe. Pretty much everybody is buff, and there's all this. Like,
I saw a little bit of that. But I'm just like, And I was just frustrated watching. I'm like, I don't like this because I don't know what's going on. So I'm just like aggravated watching it, you know?
Yeah. So like, but no, I understand. I'm just messing with you, but I do love the lore and the characters. Like,
you love Vegeta. You love Vegeta.
Man, you gotta throw some respect on my boy's name, man. It's not appropriate in life. All right, but seriously though, if they were to do a live action movie and they did it right, that would make all kinds of money, because even for the average person, there's an appeal for, like, imagine like, okay, the average person, they don't know, but they just see all these buff guys and they're just beating people up. You know, they'll think it's superhero related. They'll be like, oh, what comic book movie is this?
Yeah.
Because in this day and age, you know how popular that stuff is. So there will be certain kind of appeal if they do it right.
Yeah.
They gotta do it right. Cause I
can see, because
I don't know if you saw Dragon Ball Evolution, but that movie was
like a big fall. Like I just mentioned to you, you're like, Dragon Ball Z. So there's like a huge, even my brother-in-law, like he probably knows Vegeta. But I gotta mess with you now and keep doing it because I like seeing your face. All right. Are we ready to go? I'm getting hungry. I haven't had dinner. Huh?
What did you think about okay, like when the Riddler, when he took the part back for the submarine, and he was like, "Yep, I got it back," and then Barbara was like, "No." And then she was telling Lee like they stole it, and then she was like, "You mean they stole it back after?" Like, to me, that was so cool, because to me, it was like Lee told her to shut her ass up. Like, you know, you stole it first. But seriously though, I really did. Even though I was kind of like a little iffy on how they started him, I do like the way that they showed Bane, because it's a show, and they're not going to focus on him a lot, but for something that was 40 minutes, I thought that was really well done. Yeah. It's only 40 minutes.
I wondered how, because I enjoyed it, like how they did him and everything, and I enjoyed his character in it. So that's why I said, I got to see how Terrance about this one. I had to see what you thought. But
you know, Amanda, I don't care if it's Marvel or DC, I take this very seriously. Like,
I know.
If I'm not excited, Amanda,
I know.
Even though it's my opinion, right? Everyone can have theirs. Something's wrong if I'm just like, Amanda.
But I didn't think you would be that way, because from what I saw, I was like, oh, I liked his character in this. I liked it. So, all right, we're going. I want to go get some food. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all. Look. Oh wait, are we coming Friday? We'll talk about something.
Yeah,
we can.
When Gotham will be over, but we'll still talk about stuff. So we would just have to.
But there's no Gotham this week, right? There's no Gotham this week.
No. If you check right now, I think it'll tell you like it's like a week or two where it won't be. So
but still catch us once a week. We'll talk about something. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.